was like Knife or Death, which if you haven't seen it, I posted the link to the History Channel so you can watch it. Because what's cooler than watching a bunch of guys and gals go through an obstacle course of knives and chopping?
Yeah. Which streaming network has History Channel on it? Is it
I think
Hulu
that's Discovery Plus still.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but Hulu I think has History linked to it, isn't it? Or one of those?
One of them did.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we gamed, y'all.
Yeah,
you think?
I will take partial credit for my, hospital experience.
Yeah, well.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah.
So many people have been saying that to me the last few weeks.
What? Oh, was that? What did I do?
I like how everybody's like, you had a near-death experience. Nah, I just went to a hospital. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Saturday midnight, emergency surgery. That's not life and death. That's just surgery.
I mean, back in 2018, I drove myself to the ER on the advice. Well, she wanted me to call an ambulance on the advice of the work nurse, and they took some like biometrics, I guess it was, or like some data, and then everyone started moving real fast. And
That's never a good sign.
I ended up being on disability until like 2019.
Oh, damn.
Jeez.
Because congestive heart failure, and apparently I'd been trying to power my way through it, and that doesn't work.
Usually when the engine goes out, then the whole system says, fuck you.
Kind of.
And so I was like, where's your car? Oh, I parked it in the parking garage and walked to the ER. So you what? And it was all like, why am I so tired all the time? Well, because my heart is at like 25% of what it ought to be. So
right now your body thinks you're at the top of the Himalayas and you have no oxygen in your body.
Well, it was more like I had way too much fluid.
Yeah.
They had to get about 2 liters of fluid out of my chest cavity.
Oof.
The
heart sac.
That and the body cavity, because basically the main thing was I wasn't able to like breathe in all the way anymore. So it was enough that it was getting it. It was like my lungs.
Oof.
Yeah. Not a good deal.
But everyone is going to be healthy for the rest of 2022. That's my proclamation.
There you go.
Stop making promises you can't keep.
It's not the truth, but it's my proclamation,
Mm-hmm.
Right, David?
Right. I'm all healthy. I mean, now I got drugs for a bunch of new stuff, so it's all good.
Okay. See, that's all of our plans. Drugs. We're going to party like it's 1999. It's all about the drugs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Drugs.
Yeah, I just started thyroid medicine. Yay. That's a pain in the ass. Well, no, it's like real low level meds, but thyroid meds, you got to take it like the same time every day.
Before.
Can't eat for 2 hours and all this bullshit, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yep, it
my
is.
blood pressure meds, it's like, didn't take it yet. I'll get to it.
I'll take it eventually.
Yeah. So this, I'm getting up at 5:30 every damn morning just to go take a pill. Oh yeah.
Yep, I've been there. It turns out I didn't need it. It made me crazy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was fun times.
Oh. So we.
All right, so I don't think David's character met Sendon's character, though, right?
No, because David's character went to go scout ahead, because that's the kind of thing that Geldrin would do as a hobgoblin wizard.
Oh, a quick question. Because I thought we were going to... I haven't looked at my character sheet. We were going to swap out that ability score increase for Polearm Master.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if yeah, but it's like I don't know if that ever happened, and then
it did
wasn't
not,
going to bother
you.
I wasn't going to bother you in the hospital.
You know, you totally
so
should have
generous.
bothered me in the hospital. I'm just saying.
Fix my character. Pull out the IV and fix my character.
I mean, on the plus side, the character builder is getting super easy to use now on the Roll20 app. If
They
you haven't
improved
signed
it.
up for the Roll20 app, it's free and it is kind of handy to use. So if you play in real life, you can actually pull your character sheet up, which is nice.
Interesting.
But yeah, don't do anything in your character sheet, and I will recreate your character. I will probably ask you a buttload of questions real quick.
Okay.
As we see another one of your characters, but with a 2 after it. Okay, so let's pull up your character sheet, and we will go through the joys of the character generator. Use Charactermancer. Since you haven't been introduced yet, by the way, your new teammate here is a hobgoblin.
Oh, nice.
Whose alignment is lawful neutral. And it doesn't really matter what weapon proficiencies he picked because he's a fighter, so he has them all. And the class he's picking is fighter, as I'm literally doing this in real time.
I kind of guessed that's what was happening.
And it looks like the skills he picked were, let's see, what background did he pick? Soldier, infantry. So
give me a second. Natalia's calling me. What?
Looks like insight and perception.
I think she just got booted from Skype.
Okay, no problem. So what fighting style did you pick, by the way? On your character sheet it says defensive, but I want to make sure that's correct.
Yeah, I think it was defense.
Okay. And then we got standard array.
Where is my old... I apparently in the intervening time I've completely forgotten how to use Roll20 because I'm like looking for my character sheet. I don't know where it is.
It's hiding.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Rawr.
And your background is a soldier, so of course our wizard now has a competent hobgoblin soldier to lead the way.
That's awesome. Not that I do a bad job myself.
And
but,
in regards to
wizard.
game set, do you like dice, dragon chess, playing cards, or 3 dragon ante?
I think it's dice.
Okay. It's usually the safe one. And what was your specialty? Are you officer, scout, infantry, cavalry, healer, quartermaster, standard bearer, or support staff?
I believe it was infantry. Which was the one that had the cart proficiency?
All
it was infantry. Okay, I think it was infantry.
And from what I'm seeing, you have I face problems head on. A simple, direct solution is the best path to success.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a crude sense of humor.
Yep.
Your ideal is greater good, as that translates to hobgoblins in some unique way. And I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the flaw is I have little respect for anyone who is not a proven warrior.
Yep, that sounds familiar. Trying to remember this from, my single session.
Like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. You are wearing chainmail. And you have a halberd. It's funny, we now have 2 hobgoblins, both with halberds.
Halberds are awesome.
Well, I have a glaive, but similar.
And you have a shield just in case. And did you want the hand axes or the crossbow? Because I don't see either on your character sheet.
I think it was the hand axes.
Okay.
They make for a handy last-minute throwing weapon.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice when you can pull one out and throw it into somebody's foot, at a short distance.
Or their face.
And do
Yeah,
you have
that's
a
why.
Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack?
I don't actually know the difference between those.
Dungeoneer's pack's got some like caltrops and other things, whereas the Explorer's pack's got more camping stuff.
I think it was the Explorer.
Okay. And we obviously want to give you dice since you have dice, right?
Yeah.
It only makes sense that you actually have dice. So next, Arcane is a mystery to you. Yes, it is. And there you go. You have hit points. We don't need to worry about your age, skin color. You can always fill that in later. We have created Chork 2, but it's only level 1 Chork 2. Okay, there goes the populated. There's this long delay in the character sheet populating. So now we're going to level you up to... Jesus Christ, you guys are level 4. I need to throw stronger stuff at you.
No.
So for...
That bandit leader was, pretty
he was
hefty.
pretty badass, I mean.
Yeah.
So do you want to trust the average or the roll for your hit dice, by the way?
I think we'll just go with the average.
Okay, average is the safer bet. Level 2, it unlocked the action surge. Next. So at level 2, you get action surge, yada, yada, yada. Lets you do another action. It's great stuff. It's the best ever. It's funny because that's all the warrior gets is action surge at 2nd level. And boom, your character sheet is now level 2. Now we go down and we level it to level 3. And we actually make some choices here. We're going to go with your average again. Looks like you have a martial type. So let me see if your character sheet has it listed. It should.
I went for Battle Master.
Yeah, Battle Master. There we go.
Nice.
I don't see it on your actual sheet, but I have selected it. So it should come up on the new sheet. And for your maneuvers,
I believe there were 3 of them, right?
yes, you have 3.
I actually found my list. I chose menacing attack, trip attack, and goading attack.
Okay, menacing attack, and then goading attack, and what was the third one?
Trip attack.
Trip. Trip is a good one. The sweeping attack, or no, trip attack. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you gain at 3rd level a proficiency with one type of artisan's tools of your choice.
I believe I went with, Smith's tools.
That makes total sense for a fighter.
Wow. Yeah. Battle master.
Yep.
So we gotta
Go up and meet
Field
the ancient one to make you learn how to blacksmith your own weapons.
we got a field commander now. Nice.
Okay, so level 4. Here's where we need to make the fix. So, let's see. You're a battle master. There's your hit points. You're taking the average. And let's see if it gives me the option. It should give an option for a feat. Okay, so it's giving me the ability score. Let's move Skype out of the way. I don't want to take the ability score. I want feats. So, I found where the button is. There is a button. It just takes forever to populate. Okay, so what is the name of the feat that you would like?
Polearm Master.
I do recall that's a really good one in 3.5.
Yeah.
So, Polearm Master, you gain the following benefits. When you take the attack action, attack with only a glaive, halberd, quarterstaff, or spear, you can take a bonus action to make a melee attack with the opposite end of the weapon. The attack uses the same ability modifier as the primary attack, only only does a D4. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have to add that to your character sheet, by the way. When wielding a glaive, halberd, pike, quarterstaff, spear, other creatures provoke an attack of opportunity from you when they enter the reach you have with that weapon, which is the super sweet part.
Yeah, it is.
Because it means you can stab them 5 feet before they can even get to you to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if they add that to your character sheet.
And if anyone tries to get by me to go after the goblins, I can just stab them.
Yay!
Or your wizard.
I don't want to stab the wizard. Oh, wait, no.
No. Getting to your wizard.
I dropped my mouse while trying to type. Bad timing.
Oops.
Oh, nice.
Trying to
Though
add
as a
the
wizard, I
halberds.
can hold my own well.
He has survived quite a few scrapes.
Yep. Well, it's that seeing the future and all, quite handy.
You get the same proficiency bonus. It's a 1d4. That is a good question. I notice it does not list feats on your character sheet. That's super interesting. Now, for that 1d4 attack, I don't recall, because it's not showing and I flipped through too quick. Is it 1d4 plus your strength modifier or just 1d4?
It says the weapon's damage die for this attack is a d4. So that's all it says. I think that means it has the strength bonus. You
I'm
just roll a
assuming it would
d4
be.
as the...
Yep, and it's got the same attack modifiers. So if you look at your new character sheet, that's the Chork Sending 2, you should see a lot more stuff filled on it for you.
What happened to all the... So let's see, where is... I don't see Chork 2.
Maybe because I should probably give you access to it.
I was going to say I don't see it either, but hey.
Like if I click on...
You may have to get out of Roll20 and back in to see it, but you should have access to it, and everyone should technically be able to see it. If you don't see it now, it means you need to refresh your Roll20.
All right, that's...
Which is probably the case because I just created them. Since you guys have been in the lobby, you won't see anything just created. It's part of the pain in the butt of Roll20. It doesn't update in real time.
No.
Let's see. Where am I?
He should be at the very top.
Okay. All right. I think I see it. And I got my superiority die. I got 4 of those.
And while you're doing that, I will go to your miniature and change what character sheet it looks at. Because that might be important.
Slightly.
I think the strength and constitution got switched. Because I put the 15 in the strength and the 14 in constitution because it had the +2. So it should be 15 strength and 16 constitution.
Sorry, 15 strength and what?
And 16 constitution. Because I put for the standard array, I put the 15 in the strength and the 14 in the constitution. All the other stats look right.
Oh, you're killing me, man. You're killing me.
I'm sorry.
Because the character sheet is already made now. Now you're going to have to edit all that by hand.
Well, I was going to say, you should just be able to go and change it over there, right? On the sheet, and it'll adjust, I would think.
It should, but I don't see it adjusting. Maybe we have to change the numbers and then close
All right,
and save.
Really?
Well, I don't think the little numbers make the change. I think it's the big numbers above. When you change the big numbers, it'll change should change the stats on the character sheet.
I think it looks like is there like a save button I got to do, or do I have to click edit first?
Just enter.
Or click out of that field, probably.
Yeah.
The big thing I would look at is probably your hit points, because that'll change depending on the number you had before.
It just went from 17 to 16, so it's the same modifier.
Okay, so it's the same +3.
Yeah.
That makes life easier. Okay, good. So you didn't hit one of the plateaus where it changed the numbers.
No, because if we live till if we live till level 8, I don't know. I'm thinking way too far ahead. I might take another feat that adds a +1 to strength for the heavy armor mastery. But that's for the far future.
Like, what do you think this is? Pathfinder that you have to go that far in the future?
I tend to overplan this stuff.
4-year or 4-level modifier, or feats, yeah.
But I wanted to go for the pole arm. I want him to like hit things with the butt of the halberd.
So you can totally take that 2 off your name now, and I move the other one over, and your token is now fixed to look at the right character sheet.
How do I edit the name? There we go. There we go. Save.
Is that token or Tolkien? No.
Tolkien.
If anybody's seen any of the latest South Parks.
I am way behind in that.
Oh, dude. There's some good ones.
But we'll get out of there.
That doesn't sound good.
And I took my sword out of my safe so I could have it sitting nearby to inspire me.
And that's how the trip to the hospital started.
Great.
No, it's in a scabbard. It's good.
But you're in the same room as a cat.
Yeah, Bobo decided he was going to go into the safe. So
nice.
let's not have him in there.
I could totally see that. Everything was going great until she brought her cat over in the first night.
Oh my god.
So
this cat's been here before.
As our hobgoblin leader can see, obviously they got into a scrap up with some human bandits. It was pretty spectacular.
Nice.
I put his head on a stick.
Picking on the humans again.
You'd be glad that your little goblins did their jobs.
Yeah, they've been good gobbies.
There was a pretty badass moonbeam happening.
Oh yeah.
Melted the leader.
Some damage was definitely done.
I think we all got a piece of that leader.
Yes.
Everybody got a shot.
Nice.
So thankfully, now that your fearless leader has rejoined the group and gotten you guys back to where you were, where you see in the far, far north the ruins up ahead that your fearless leader here clearly tells you is the ruins of the slavers.
Ooh.
That's where we're going.
We had a long rest.
And everyone is all healed up. You've all had the long rest, so make sure your hits are topped off.
Okay. And I'm making my rolls now.
Yep. Go ahead and make your...
Oh, look at that! Those are awesome.
He's
rolls.
making his
divination rolls. Because he's a divination wizard, so he can roll that natural 20 and that ugly 4 and assign those to people, good or bad, in the future.
So I'm supposed to be at 46, right?
You should be at whatever your max is.
That is my. But
according to your token, it says 40.
Wait, what the hell?
Is that the old chunk? Is that the old chunk or the new chunk?
That's the new chunk with the. Oh no, he's 46. Why is it saying 40 on the token? Let's see why. Ah, because on this screen it flipped to the old one.
Oh.
Okay, there you go. Are we gonna have to make you a new token, period? Or do I have to refresh my page to see it fixed too? Let me refresh my page.
Why does my character not have like
Numbers.
Well, no, when I look at the list of like our characters and stuff like that, it does not.
It doesn't have what? What are we missing here?
Well, like there's not on when you look at the list of player characters, it doesn't
Be
have
back in one
like
second.
a picture by my character for some reason.
So are we talking your token or your character sheet?
Do you have a soda?
No, mine's empty. Okay, so when the different tabs where there's the chat tab and then the character tab,
Uh-huh.
and then my character does not seem to have a picture by it. I don't know why. Thank you, sweetie.
Because on your character sheet, on your bio tab, you haven't put a picture on it. That's why.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a picture of Nyx on here. Okay, give me a second. Let me add.
There was. I could have swore I used to see one.
I know there used to be.
But apparently Roll20 did something and now it doesn't.
Okay, let me see if I can find her picture, and I will put that.
What is my character showing? That's bizarre. What is my character showing? So my hit points, maximum hit points is showing 20, which isn't right. But then my current hit points is showing 26, which isn't right.
Yeah, I'm noticing some of the tokens, the life bar is not showing your actual hit points. It's showing our first level character's hit points, and I'm fixing that right now. Because apparently Roll20, when it updated something, it did not, the red bar is not your hit points. It's currently whatever number it was long ago.
Well, yeah. Well, no, on my character sheet, my maximum hit point number is 20, which isn't right because so actually, no. Yeah, 26 would be my correct. Because so 6 for the original, and then 4, 4, and 4, and then 2 points of Constitution each. So yeah, so that's weird. At least I can type in and correct it. There we go.
Yeah, he was 26 out of 20. That was.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it shorted me 6 hit points. Basically, my Constitution got dropped from my hit points. Bizarre.
Also, if anyone wants a crossbow, we got a bunch of them in the wagon now.
Yes, we do.
So I'm seeing Nyx's picture.
Yeah, I just put it on right now.
Okay. She just put it in. It's funny because I had her sheet up so I can see what she's doing. Okay, so all of your tokens have been reset, so the hit points should be what your current hit points are, not what they apparently were last time I copy-pasted them. Because apparently, yeah, there was some update that apparently turned off all the attributes for your tokens.
Ooh.
So it was whatever number was typed in there was the number that you're seeing, as opposed to what's on your character sheet. So give your character sheets a once-over and see if Roll20 has done anything miraculous with it besides that.
Yeah.
The problem is that I don't know.
Well, then if you don't know, then everything's fine.
Hit points seem to be the only problem, so.
I mean, the numbers seem to be matching up, but dyslexia can be a bitch. I don't know if I updated anything from last time.
We'll just see what happens when the rolls start.
Yeah.
So I'm peeking over David's shoulders. He's flipping through his character sheet.
Oh, looks good.
Bam! There you go. I took control. Now I jumped out. Don't tell Kelly that I do that for sport.
Wow.
Wow.
So, Geldrin, give me a perception or survival check as you're coming back to tell the group about what you've seen. That way I know what you've seen.
Let's see here. I guess they're about the same, huh? Yeah. Let's go with perception. What the hell? Phew, I saw nothing.
So clearly, you come back and explain to them what you've witnessed, seeing like a little convoy of slaves being taken there and a little convoy of slaves leaving there, You witness that these humans or half-orcs, some of them from a distance, you really couldn't tell them apart, especially with that perception check.
Yeah.
Clearly they look to be of the sort that are running this place. They make patrols twice a day, once it's sun up and once it's sundown. It's very, very oddly precise for a bunch of, half-orcs, from what cultural bias that you have against them. They seem very well organized and kept to a schedule. So as you guys are approaching, what is the plan? I mean, are you just going to walk up into the city with your wagon full of crossbows?
So refresh. We were coming here to. It's been a while, so.
Pretty much, your warlord was sending you here to disrupt the place or burn it to the ground, whichever came easier to you.
Burn, fire.
It could just be you find the ventilation tubes in this place and you let the goblins loose in it and you walk away, and what happens.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure.
I don't know if we let the goblins loose in the ventilation system. I don't know. Might be overkill.
There's no such thing as overkill.
Like, why is this whole sector a crater now?
Well, you wanted it dealt with. It was dealt with.
Okay. So is this what kind of is it another mine or is it
it's basically
town?
An old brick built city kind of thing that basically you're thinking hundreds of years ago this place was had some kind of climate change that took it from a nice pleasant area to desert, and half the walls were destroyed. And if you want to secretly sneak in, you feel that you'll have almost no problem doing that. Or you can come in as some of the caravans that you saw come in.
Right. And what do we know about the leader of this place? Anything?
You didn't really pick up anything with that great roll you had. And unfortunately, you haven't interrogated any of those half-orcs that you could have talked to back at the quarry. They didn't really give you much choice.
No. All right. Do we have at least a name or race or something?
Basically, your warlord said go to these half-orcs and either talk them into stop trading in goblins and give you all the goblins, which you totally realize the paladin's dump stat was intel and it's probably not going to happen. Or burn the place to the ground, which now that you're seeing it's a giant stone ruins of a half a city type of setup, will probably not be effective either.
Yeah.
But you get the idea that you can take total discretion in subverting the current management system and making sure they stop taking slaves.
Okay. I'm kind of almost thinking the frontal, cruise in with a caravan, and that way gets us on the inside without much concern. Wow. Rare Pokemon card sells for 420,000. Good lord!
I know they deal in slaves, but I don't think Pokemon cards will be their thing.
Sorry, just
it's okay.
got the news on in the back on the TV in the background. Just it was looked up and just ridiculous.
I don't know if we did a D&D Pokemon crossover, it'd make it a lot easier to burn this place down.
Yeah, I mean,
throw a little ball and a dragon comes out of it.
There is an RPG called Magi Monsters, which basically it is 3.5 and Pokemon had a baby, where you play a mini game of your monsters can fight each other as monsters, or your players can play as players. It's a really good game, actually. Because, yes, your monsters can evolve. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thought, is go in as the caravan kind of deal, like we're coming in as traders or what. And once we're inside, we can see what mischief we can get into.
Okay.
Are they likely to let us in? Are they letting? Do they have like a variety of people coming in?
As your fighter's asking this important question,
Yeah, it's like,
war leader.
Are they gonna let a couple of hobgoblins in a cart in?
Like, are the gates open, kind of thing?
They're asking you all very good questions that you don't quite know the answer for with that perception of 6.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I didn't notice that.
Any other very good questions you'd like to ask him?
I mean,
no, I can't do that one. Sorry.
Just seemed to have a regular patrol, but I didn't catch any of the other stuff.
I'm in a mood. I was gonna ask where babies come from.
Roll medicine.
I don't know that we've got. I mean, obviously the goblins, but as far as the rest of us sneaking around, may or may not be the best option. But I mean, I'm not terrible at it.
I mean, I'm kind of jingly.
Yeah.
Am I
well, exactly.
Let's see.
And since technically this is the first chance that our wizard warlord here can get a good insight into our fighter, so what does he see when he inspects you?
Chork is, let's see, he's like not especially tall for a hobgoblin, but he's pretty high. He's very stocky. I mean, Chork is kind of an apt name for him. Pretty muscular. He's kind of built like a weightlifter, so he's kind of square.
He's very chunky, as they say back in the war.
He's chunky, but he's not like He looks like he can swing that halberd pretty dang well.
Okay.
And take a few hits.
I mean, he's all excited about the halberd. Like I said, I'm akin to that. And you're in chain, you said?
Yep, chainmail, which means I'm not too sneaky. There's a lot of jingling going on if I try and sneak.
You an older hobgoblin, younger?
Where did I put that? I don't know where I put that. I don't think I put that there.
But under bio, second page.
Yeah, I don't think I put that in there yet.
Okay.
They use
it's a hobgoblin's age on about the same scale as humans, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be in I think he'd be about like 30. So he's got some experience.
Okay.
He's got some fighting experience. You might wonder why he's not a higher rank than he is. Mostly because he has trouble watching his mouth sometimes.
No, totally understand.
He's got your back when it counts.
Okay.
And he's very, very into keeping his squad alive.
He's going to make a great sergeant for you.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. He's not a big picture guy. He doesn't have like grand plans.
Well, that's why you got the wizard. So.
Yeah. He's a very much, it's like, this is my job and I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And we'll let the higher ups worry about the big plans. I'll just try and keep this group alive so we can do the plans.
Yep.
How's that?
Any backup weapons or no?
He's got I believe he's got a shield on him and some hand axes.
Okay.
So for the most part it's his halberd. He can use pretty much anything he can pick up.
Yeah.
But it's he's got some
halberd and axes. Okay.
Halberd and axes, yep.
Sometimes you got to reach out 30 feet and touch somebody.
Yep. Hand axes are good, because I mean you can wield them as a hand weapon, but you can also chuck them. So there's some versatility there.
Yep.
But his favored weapon is definitely the pole arm, and right now he's got his halberd that he's pretty fond of.
Yep. All right.
Well,
Geldrin is a young hobgoblin. He's actually only 20 years old, 5'4". So I think on hobgoblin, kind of on the shorter side.
Like, oh great, we've got a young officer here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And brown eyes, reddish skin with dark brown hair. He's wearing studded leather, and carrying a glaive with a
nice choice of weapons.
Yeah, with a whip coiled at his hip, and
mark of a boss.
There was some purpose to that, yes. And then he also, which is kind of known, he is kind of believes in the teachings of Bargivyek, which is he's one of the gods. He has seen glimpses of a great future of the goblinoids if they unite and work collaboratively, and he respects goblinoids at all levels and works to bring peace and unity between the clans.
See, I don't think if I don't think you described Trunk as particularly devout, but Bargivyek is someone, kind of his jam a little bit, because again, it's like, I'm going to keep my squad alive, whatever they are.
Right.
Goblin, hobgoblin.
Which is the same concept, because there is some disparity in some of the other god beliefs and that. So yeah, he believes that us working united and together versus more that goblin slave and that kind of stuff mentality, will unite us much stronger against everybody. And you always see a raven in his presence that follows him around, Tarkin.
Tarkin? Oh, that's great.
So.
And Tarkin's got Tood.
We got a lot of animal companions in this group.
Yeah.
And as far as Trunk's concerned, and this was the first, this last session was the first battle he'd been in alongside these little chaos gremlin goblins. And they did pretty well.
Yeah.
So they've got some skills.
Yep.
You ordered them not to die, and they didn't die.
Yep, they didn't die. And even managed to encourage Nix to try a long shot on the last fleeing bandit, and she got him.
Nice, yeah. No, they've been quite sturdy.
Yep. Just find Nix a place to hide during combat so she can pop up, shoot, hide, pop up, shoot, hide, pop up, shoot, hide. Drive the enemy best. Drive the enemies crazy.
I mean, that's how I survived an almost TPK.
When 3/5 of the group TPK'd, it's a TPK. When 1/5 of the group was dying out in the grass but stabilized, and you were the sole person kiting the bad guy, shooting, hiding, running, shooting, hiding, running, that's a TPK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a twist.
With a twist.
Oh. Hey,
okay.
Keeping the enemy's attention is my job.
Yep.
And that's why you have been recruited, see?
Yep. Need someone to take some hits.
Because I am small, soft, and squishy.
Yeah, we won't talk about our bugbear.
Oh, no.
Oh.
We don't talk about what happened there.
That was their job too. But
that was very
we won't discuss that.
We don't talk about bugbears.
She was amazing at her job, and then she tripped.
Yeah.
And then she didn't have a head anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, any other suggestions as to the try to ride in and sneak in, and I'm all game.
And just to let you know, your two goblin friends, now that you return, they went running off to give you a report of your victory. By the way.
Oh, lovely. That's fine. Could we take Birdie friend, who's not friend, and have him scout out and find places we could hide?
It is a fairly open expanse once you get over this dune that's ahead of you guys, providing you perfect cover at this very moment, unless you want to break that cover.
I do not want to break cover.
So you can tell her it's pretty much an open savanna straight to the city. It's almost like it's made that they can see someone coming for miles. Or see anyone escaping and hunting them down for miles.
So yeah, I mean, to me that looks like our best bet. Now, when did I happen to see, even though it's a shitty roll, like the caravans were there, like an outer caravan, like engaged, like cluster, or were they all going into the city, or how sometimes you have that outer camp?
Unfortunately, from the viewpoint you were at, with the heat of the day causing that little, hazy wave effect, you couldn't quite see what happened when they got close to the city.
Okay.
Other than that, for a shadow of a doubt they got into the city, but you can't really see once they get too close that little mirage haze hits, and they kind of like blend. You see the like sky and the ground touch for a second, and buildings floating. It seems almost. Yes, it's totally the hot of the summer at this moment because your perception roll said so.
Right. All right. I mean, that's my thought. So
at least at least it's hot.
Yeah. So unless somebody has another option, my guess is to try to ride in as a caravan with some base supplies that we've raided.
We have a lot of crossbows.
You do have a lot of crossbows. I mean, the bandit group your group ran into is, pretty impressively equipped with stolen gear.
Wow. Yeah, and I think we had a bunch of other crap too, from like
woodcutters, axes, and you have firewood, don't forget.
Yeah.
So much firewood.
That could be a valuable commodity out in the Savannah-y area.
Yeah, we have some art objects too, I think. And oh no, I left those back at the camp, so.
You left those with your dear departed noble friend.
Yeah.
You totally were going to use him for so much in the future.
Well,
Except now he's dead. I'm
Again,
okay with that.
That very strong half-orc barbarian guy just like ripped into the team, and they lost many lives that day.
But that's okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's my best thought. No counters.
You are the leader, so
sounds like. Well, I understand, and I refer to my expertise that I have with me, and
it's almost a democracy. Look at this.
No, there's
I'll go along with it.
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
No counter, then I guess that's what we're doing. So, though I can't get on my wagon.
Can't stand around here all day.
No. The wagon's above me. Oh,
Here you want something that you can sit on. Look at that. Now the wagon has to be part of the map. Okay, so you guys, who's going to be the lookout looking for the nearest caravan to show up? Which goblinoid with keen eyes is going to be the lookout?
I guess that would be me.
Okay. So you guys use this nice secluded spot to set yourselves up for camp. You have your ranger, get ready to be a lookout and to say, "De plane," when, you see a caravan. There's a caravan on the plane.
That uses what?
That would be perception.
Okay, so I need to roll that. Is that what needs to happen?
Looking for that trail of dust.
Yep. Holy shit. Okay, natural 20 with the perception. And here I was just going to joke and say, well, do you want to climb up a tree there for advantage?
I think I just lost the... Let's try this back. I'm back. Okay. I think I accidentally backed out of the whole thing. So.
No.
And you should try to see if you can move your token just to make sure, because I haven't seen it moved yet.
Who, me?
There we go. Nope. Sinan. So immediately, with plenty of notice, your little ranger, she totally tells you that there's a caravan coming with plenty of time for you guys to circle around to intercept it out of sight of the city, right? Does that sound like what you're going for?
Sure.
Okay, so you guys are taking the wagon over there?
Wait, what are you doing in the back of the wagon, man? Don't you drive wagons?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, new guy gets to drive the wagon now.
Well, I mean, that's one of his skills, right?
Yep.
It's true,
might as well put it in the hands of a skilled driver. It's not my skill.
So does that sound like the plan, that you're wanting to meet the caravan before it gets within eyeshot of the city?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of, catch up and mesh in, or follow it, separately and behind or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys.
And if they decide not to let us join, maybe we have to deal with them outside of the city.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case. So you guys basically start heading in the direction of the dust cloud that was pointed out to you guys. And I will roll some random dice real quick just to intimidate you. As you guys get closer to the caravan that she pointed out, it obviously seems to be, it looks like 4 wagons. And with that natural 20, I don't need any additional perception checks. She can tell you that there's about 16 humanoids on the 4 wagons.
There's a lot of them.
Technically, you're seeing like 6 of them being dragged by rope behind the wagons. There's like 2 to 3 of the wagons, and then 1 has no people being dragged behind.
Mm-hmm.
They seem kind of miserable. They look like human, elf, and dwarf mix. They're all tied up, dirty, disheveled. And there's, basically 10 of the biggest half-orcs you've ever seen. As there was an echo, and I had to pause to make sure it was me and not somebody else talking.
I share this information with the group.
And you guys, as soon as they can see you and you can see them, they kind of like stop. The one guy pulls his hand up, and immediately wagon drivers start stopping their wagons. And the people being pulled behind by rope are very appreciative of the stop. And they're just kind of like silently eyeballing you, and you notice like each one has an arm that goes under, the lip of the wagon, probably to weapons. As one does when you're strangers meeting each other in the world of D&D.
Sure.
How close are you guys getting?
We'll keep a good distance and just kind of hail them, in peace. Kind of like, hey, just, traveler or, traders.
Okay.
Pay no attention to me. I'm just the wagon driver.
So this one half-orc kind of barks some orders to his, teammates. You can see he's obviously must be the leader because he's making, some comments. And he kind of jumps off the wagon, pulls his little scimitar off from the spot next to where he was sitting, and he starts walking to you guys.
Okay.
And he just kind of like walks half the distance, then stops. And he just like does that calm standing, waiting for whoever speaks for your group to come talk to him.
All right. Well, I guess that'll probably be me, unfortunately.
And immediately you start hearing the folks being tied behind the wagon start screaming out for help in various ways. Help, help, I was kidnapped, help, help. And then, of course, 2 guards on each of the wagon come up and start yelling at them and throwing like rocks that were in the back of the wagon. I'm to shut them up.
Yeah,
they keep rocks in the back of the wagon just for that, huh?
Yep. They're those kind of guys.
Well, they're not goblins, so I'm not worried about it. But so I will walk forward.
Okay, and he kind of gives you the whole up and down look. He's totally body checking you. Are you bringing your halberd with you?
My glaive? Yes.
Your glaive.
I mean, he brought a weapon, so yes, I'm bringing my glaive as well. But I mean, I'm carrying it in a casual, manner, not on guard or anything like that.
As you start walking up, he's got his scimitar real cash. Like it's right in front of him, stabbed into the ground with his hands on the hilt. Just resting his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of like gives you the look. And as soon as you get closer, he kind of like just kind of like clicks his cheeks and says, "What can I help you with, stranger?"
I am heading to the camp. I understand out here have some stuff we've acquired to trade.
So you seek to enter the forbidden city of Azeran.
We seek trade, yes.
And what do you have to trade? And he looks at your wagon as there's some goblins looking over the wagon. A wolf.
We have weapons.
And he basically gives you this look as he's staring into your soul type of look. And he says, "Let me see what kind of weapons you have."
I'll hail back for them to bring one of the good crossbows up.
So who's going to volunteer to do that, guys?
Maybe.
I don't know if you want to let the goblin, the goblin equivalent of the crack monkey, which is me, do it. So you probably shouldn't let me do that.
So, just need someone to carry some crossbows up there, or?
He's yelling back to you guys, "Bring up a crossbow."
Yeah, but
all right. I think I can do that.
The driver of the wagon, so the vehicle will be
just
unprotected.
That probably should not be him either.
No.
Like that, I've caused doubt.
Well, it's probably either me or our.
One of the goblins can do it.
Moonbeam caster person.
Moonbeam.
That is what you are at this point.
As our little druid's now just called Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Or Moonburn. Don't go skinny dipping. You'll get a moonburn.
Oh no.
And Tarkin's just kind of circling up above, a ways up.
I mean, sure, I can do it. You just want me to take the thing up, right?
Yeah, bring crossbow or two.
Okay.
So do me a favor, roll me a perception there with disadvantage. As you try to select the best crossbow of the group. Do you have proficiency crossbow?
I do.
I think you do.
I don't think I do.
I do. Can I hand her the best one?
If you assist, then she can roll perception without disadvantage then.
Then I assist.
Okay, so roll me a perception as you're trying to grab the nicest crossbow. Just because if you roll a natural 20, something cool could happen.
Sorry, my brain. Perception.
Perception, yep.
Perception.
It's the +1 crossbow we didn't know we had.
Oh, dear God. Here we go. Oh.
I like how she says, "Here we go," and then she goes, "Oh," like she rolled a natural 1.
No, the children are
not your concern, thankfully. I hope, unless you're babysitting. Do I need to text Andy and say you should be in this D&D game again?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Did you get knocked off, Talia?
No. Well, Bobo's trying to attack my headphone.
Let me go put him up real quick.
I'm like, how did he travel from one room to the other? So as our hobgoblin driver here is getting a little, distracted by the horse named Bobo, Naz
Just crashed on me.
Naz grabs the crossbow that Nick's
Nazi.
He's got a
Nazi
bite.
grabs the
I've got-
crossbow
he'll
that Nix
bite.
gave her
Scary.
and hops out of the wagon and runs over to her commander, right?
Yeah. I did
And-
good, right? My Skype crashed on me.
Your Skype didn't crash. You did good. Yep.
Oh, yay. Okay.
So you hand your commander the crossbow so he can show it to this intimidating half-orc who's looking way down at you. From 6'2" down to 2 foot something is a long distance.
I can turn into a wolf. I'll be okay.
She's not scared by things easily.
No.
And he kind of gives the crossbow the once over and asks, "May I?" and takes it in one hand and he holds it and he's looking at it and he's checking it. Did you bring it over loaded, by the way?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No.
And he kind of gives you this appropriate smile that he approves of this. Give me a persuasion, Geldrin, with advantage.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew you were gonna ask for that.
I'm scared.
You have advantage because he likes the weapons. I mean, a pretty good one was brought
No,
up.
I know.
I mean, they deal in slaves, so they're usually cash rich here. So weapons could be a thing they could buy.
As much as I was unfortunately made the leader as the wizardly type, that's not my specialty. I'm more the study the future and stuff. So persuasion, you say?
Persuasion.
At advantage.
Add an advantage.
That's good.
A solid 12.
Yeah.
And he kind of he tells you that I will help let you join our caravan as we enter the Forbidden City. But there would be a small cost. How many coins do you feel that you could separate for me to make the proper introductions? As he rubs his nubby chin and kind of puts his hand out gesture for he'll definitely do it, but what's in it for him cash wise?
Yeah. So I will hand him a gem.
Okay, and how much worth of a gem are we talking?
50 gold pieces each. So yeah.
Ooh. So a very nice gem.
Yep.
Okay, and he kind of looks at it and he kind of looks back at his compatriots there, and you see him do the worst job ever of pocketing it. That was his sleight of hand +1.
Nice.
As he tucks it into his tunic under his armor in a very obvious way. He does that whole under the armpit opening to tuck it in there. Totally looks like he's putting something of value into under his shirt.
Yeah. None of my business.
And yeah, he kind of gives you the look, and kind of puts his hand out there to give you the classic slap,
Yeah. Exchange pleasantries and my name.
And you're giving him your actual name.
Yeah, it's not anything renowned or anything, so yeah, I'll just tell him it's Geldrin. Pleasure.
And he says, "A profitable pleasure for me as well."
Hopefully
And
it'll be
are
profitable
all of
for all of
these
us.
your traveling compatriots, or are you willing to sell some of them?
No, they're quite under my tutelage and part of my traveling team. They all bring very good skills to the business that we do. So
Don't sell Borf. The goblin will be very angry, and she will do bad things.
And don't.
I will set everything on fire!
Yeah, I don't
Wow.
think they want the. They don't think they want the dog. They want the two
Or
little
horse-
green
or a
skins.
horse. That's
So
not a
I
horse.
just heard her over Skype and from the living room.
Yeah,
That was slightly terrifying, wasn't it?
yeah.
That happened when Andy was on this game. Quite a lot. Like, I would just hear a cackle over there and then nothing here. It was horrifying.
And she giggles, but she knows it's true. So, are you saying that you're saying that? I mean, is that
No,
something
I'm not. That was completely out of character.
Okay. Just
Sorry.
checking.
Sorry. I had to do that. I'm sorry. That was out of character. I'm not that stupid, Jim.
Well, your character is who I'm referring to, not you.
Yeah.
There are no stupid players. There's only characters with dump stats.
Right. So yeah. So no, I tell them, yeah, they're part of my entourage and quite skilled to my needs. Thank you.
And he kind of gives you the whole, okay, that's totally understandable. You know, you get the idea that he's just being a good businessman and checking
Sure.
to see if it's something he can get cash for.
No.
Yep. No.
And he basically with them the first one, which is his.
Okay.
And
get back to our position.
get back in line and tell your wagon driver to wagon toe.
Yep.
I like how Bird is on top of horse.
Yeah, he rides on.
I like it. So much mule. What is this animal? Because I'm sure he's been called horse, donkey, mule, jackass. I don't know.
I think he was supposed to be a mule. At least that was my note.
That was his original designation, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was a mule or if he was a horse named Mule.
I don't even know if he was a mule named horse. Like, I don't.
Yeah, mules are better. They're more hardy.
Okay, mule. Named
I
horse.
mean, it's not like y'all are horse people anyway. I mean,
No.
Not really.
They all taste the same.
No, I protect this one.
My specialty wasn't cavalry.
all that matters is it pulls the wagon, and well, you killed some people to get it, so it spoils war.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we acquired it.
Acquired.
Is it already 11? What?
It's a much nicer term.
Yep. So you guys basically get in line with their caravan, and behind the first
Did
wagon.
you did you ask if it was 11? It's 10. Well,
Yeah,
10.
no, our roommate usually gets home around 11, so I heard the front door. I was like, what, it's 11 already? What? No.
Maybe.
Well,
it
that's
means
good.
he's
Second
got-
wagon, less dust.
Yep, you're behind second wagon. It's got no slaves being towed behind it. There's less dust, which is nice, and you're hearing the grumbling and the growlings of the slaves behind.
Yeah, that's okay. There's no goblins, so we're good.
As you guys come pulling up in front of this walled section of the city that you can see, once upon a time, this was probably a great wall that protected these ruins. Now it's a total piece of crap wall that gives more cover for invading, thieves than it does, protect the place. And you see there's a couple makeshift lookout towers looking out there. And of course, the guy that you talk to immediately like raises his hand and then waves a yellow flag. And then somebody waves back a yellow cloth from one of the towers, and you get that it's the approach all clear signal, as you guys are basically doing your caravan through these ruins that looks like once may have been a nice, really nice city. We're talking like 200-300 years ago, made of nice, adobe style buildings with stone and stuff. But now it's a total shit show, and the sand and dirt level is at like almost to the top of door frames on these buildings. So obviously some kind of horrible catastrophe happened to this place long, long ago.
Nice.
I mean, if anybody wants to do something like roll a history or an arcane, you may figure something out. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's probably the
I
orcs that
don't
destroyed it. I could do that. I could do
yeah, because I don't think history is my forte.
it.
History's
Probably
not
not.
your jam.
No.
Apparently, not
Either
the best knowledge of this place, but it's an 11.
And you're actually going to be at disadvantage, by the way,
Oh, then
due
it's
to
an
its
8.
remote location.
Then it's an 8.
As I'm
hilarious that
slowly
I rolled
seeing if I can
higher
sneak
than
a
he
better
did.
picture. And I don't know what Tully was giggling about there.
Because I rolled higher than he did.
That's okay. I mean,
I was born in the woods.
these are orcs. I don't care about their history. I mean, that.
And definitive feel that it's probably human architecture, which, hey, maybe this is why there's so many half-orcs here. Maybe the surviving human populace blended in with the local orc bands that are out there and created a nice half-orc population. Or something like that, maybe. But you definitely get the idea that some catastrophe causes. This does not seem natural whatsoever. As I'm totally looking to see if I can bring up a better picture than the one I have on the screen on my screen. But my computer's not cooperating.
Yeah.
Let's see if it does. And as you get a good ways towards the building that seems to be in use, I mean, most of these buildings look long abandoned. As you get close to the one that looks like it must be the one in use, because you see wagon marks going and, obviously signs of life. A little group comes out to basically check you guys before you get there to, make sure everything's kosher in your approach. And the one guy kind of looks back at you and he jumps out of his wagon again with the usual swagger that he's been pulling. And he walks up to meet the group that comes out and they all clasp hands. Obviously they know each other by face and name. And they kind of mumble some super quiet words. And he kind of gestures back at you guys. So I pause for dramatic GM pausing to see if anyone wants to try to perception.
Well, I was going to say either perception or insight, maybe.
I can do both of those.
I can do perception.
So who's going to do what?
I'm going to try and roll insight. See if I can
try to read their body language.
Yeah. Whether he's being conniving or seems on the up and up.
Oh, okay, I did it.
You did it?
Yeah, I rolled an insight.
Yay!
Yay, and the new picture I just made is way better than the other picture.
Nice.
So we don't need a perception? We're good?
Oh, you need a perception.
Oh, okay. Perception. Here we go.
If you want to hear what they're saying, yeah.
Whoa.
Nice.
So insight, you basically see they're doing hand languages and that type of thing that you're not quite making out what it is, but it seems like everything's okay. And oddly enough, while our keen druid has better hearing than you have insight skills, soldier. She clearly hears the guy, grumble, 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 grumble. Who are the outsiders? And he's just like, some travelers we ran into that have some weapons. And I thought it would be easier just to let them give me a shiny stone. And he kind of you hear some ooh and ah. Obviously, he showed the shiny stone. To trick, they paid me to get me within the city gates, but they didn't say what happens after. And he kind of does the winky face, We're totally talking Agatha winky face from Wanda and Vision. Wink, as they kind of give the chuckle. As he kind of, basically leans back and shoots a hand gesture to his group, and the group start untying the obviously slaves, and they're kind of like looking at you guys, and one of the slaves just mouths at you, "Help us, help us."
They're looking at hobgoblins for
They're
help.
looking at hobgoblins for help
Oh.
because they're desperate. This is what happens when you're desperate. See, there's even like a dog barking in the distance inside their headquarters.
Wow, we're tiny.
See, this map is way better than this map.
Oh my.
If you zoom in on that map, it gets super blurry. But this map is far better.
Yeah.
So he basically looks at you guys and said, you can park your wagons over here. And he basically points out there's some shrubbery here for the horses next to the wall. There's basically some buffalo grass growing there, which we all know has no nutritional value and grows anywhere, including the surface of Mars. And you can tie up your wagons.
Okay.
Good.
And the guys that walk up, they kind of blow this little whistle. It almost sounds like a train whistle. And this portcullis that's here rises up just to about 5 foot high, and then you hear some horrible sound, like maybe the gearbox doesn't work anymore for it to go any higher. And they kind of walk the slaves in. The portcullis drops, and then you can clearly see through that portcullis, that this portcullis rises all the way up to about 10 foot, and they walk the slaves inside, and they just start chuckling and laughing, kicking the slaves, because that's what one does.
Yep. Yeah.
And then basically the leader of the slaver group here, with his 3 buddies who came out to meet him, kind of walks over towards you guys and says, if you'd like, you can set up your tent here and set up your camp, and I'll send out the and he kind of like looks at the other ones, and there's this like inside joke look, and he says, the fort's commander to or quartermaster, and you see like little snickers with the other guys, to see about buying your crossbows.
Okay.
I am very
And he kind of barks at his guys and tells the guys that are at the wagons still, because they only lost like 6 guards out of their 10, to basically take the wagons around. And he basically points this way, and they start off-roading their wagons to go around this building. Obviously, there must be a stable or something around the other side.
Mm-hmm. And what time of day is this?
This is about 2-3 o'clock.
Okay.
Thankfully the shade is just right, that spot where they picked for you guys is in full shade, which is nice.
And what kind of walls are we?
These are about 30-foot tall walls. There seems to be some kind of walkway above, but you can't quite see it. It doesn't seem to be like anyone walking on it. And the walls definitely have that deteriorated look where you wouldn't want to like put climbing spikes into the walls, because, it just might crumble.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what do you guys do?
We'll park kind of over here, not right up against the wall or anything. And what's this?
That is a rock.
Rock, okay. Not water or nothing. Okay.
Nope. It's very dry. It'd be great if that was some water.
Like big rock?
Like pretty big rock.
Like cart fit behind the rock kind of spot?
Like what?
Like cart maybe fit behind the rock?
Oh yeah, the cart could totally fit behind the rock.
So we could like park there maybe instead? We're hobgoblins.
Okay, if you park there, you're going to be out in the sun, by the way. You're
that
fine.
Might not be good for the mule.
Mule's been working hard. The sun's good for him.
Yeah, we can water him and stuff, but puts us a little safer from anything from the wall.
What? You don't want people to rain down rocks and boiling oil on you?
Mm,
Do you know how
I'd have
much
thought.
2 martially trained hobgoblins go for on the market? Top gladiator material right there.
Yeah.
We'll name
And
both of you
Tarkin's gonna take a flyover and peek around once we get set up over there. We'll leave the mule hitched right now, but we'll look as if we're setting up basic camp, but we do leave him hitched at the moment.
Okay, I can give you some information then. So as Tarkin goes on his little circle walkabout, this part has got a little covered, walkway over it.
Mhm.
This is an open courtyard. Can't see anything past that because it's all indoors. Interestingly enough, out here is an outdoor garden.
Okay.
And this area here used to be a nice, pretty wooden roof once upon a time that seemed to have burned down to ash and like collapsed 2 or 3 levels. So there's like basically this big ruin covered with burnt wood, the occasional structure sticking out, and lots of sand that's been deposited by the winds.
Okay. And those other areas are indoor. Whoa, what happened?
Sorry about that.
I'm like,
Night
I broke
falls.
it. Right?
Suddenly. Chunk.
Then it was dark.
Hey, look at this. He's going all fancy now.
See, I know y'all, so I'm hiding some shit. So
I've
this
already
way you
studied
know
the
what's
map well.
indoor and what outdoor.
Okay. All right.
And then burnt ruins.
That.
Clearly, once upon a time, there's been a fire. Or somebody just had a forge and wasn't taking care of shit. And of course, you should be able to read the index.
Yeah.
Apparently, my Roll20 map doesn't want to do its thing. So there's structure there, there's structure there. There's another outdoor garden there.
Fancy gardens.
I mean, hey, it's a sign of prestige, As there's an evil giggle there. I think you know what I'm doing.
I didn't notice nothing.
I didn't notice anything on the map that looked like a secret passage. There you go.
Secret tunnel. Sorry.
So, do I see like slaves in here, or no, or slaves around in here?
When you get, let me get to the right tool. When Tarkin's looking around here, he sees that the guys that are pulling in the slaves immediately like hitch them to the wall right here.
Okay.
So you can see they must have like some kind of system because they immediately put the slaves here, which is the worst little stick figure ever. And they're kind of like hitched to the wall, but there's a drinking trough for them to drink nasty, smelly water.
And it's just the new slaves, though. I don't see any other.
It's just the new
group.
slaves, yeah.
Okay. So no goblins.
Tarkin did see
around.
a few people working around in the garden here and the garden over here.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing something. It looks like they were probably like planting or something. Tarkin's not good at gardening, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, but like any goblinoids?
He did notice on the... I'm just going to do circles here. On the overhang there's a goblin here and a goblin here. There's a goblin
Really?
on the walkway up here, and another half. Not goblin, half orc. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But he did
I was gonna say.
notice that. Give me a perception check for Tarkin. All you humanoids look alike.
Well, not goblins. They're better. Small.
I always mix gnomes and goblins up.
Gnomes and goblin. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Let's see. Where's this perception? Perception.
Not bad at all. So he does tell you for sure that neon green with green infill, that he did notice over here in the garden area there were 2 goblins.
Okay.
And over here there was a goblin. And amongst this area where it's all destroyed, there's about a good dozen slaves of all different races working on trying to clean up the area.
Okay.
With a couple big half-orcs bossing them around with the whips, cracking the whips like crazy. As, they're doing their thing of, get this cleaned up. So it looks like they're kind of rebuilding this in some way.
Do slave labor.
And he can totally tell you that this burned down area was not freshly done. It was burned down a few months ago.
Okay.
It's not fresh, but it is recent.
Okay. Okay. And I forget, who's our sneaky one? Actually, we got our shapeshifter that could probably sneak in.
You do have a druid. It's one
Yeah,
of the favorite things I do as a druid is turn into a mouse and get chased by animals.
Yeah, so he's out flying around.
Caw, caw, caw. So all of a sudden, one of the half-orcs with the crossbow goes, meat.
Yeah, no, he's staying way high. And he'd be quite disappointed, but...
All bone and feather.
Alright, so...
Or worse, pull a deception and catch the arrow and play that you've been wounded, and then cast shocking grasp through him when they pick him up. Oh, wait, that's just my diabolical side.
Yeah, but he's got to be alive for that, so...
Well, that would be the deception, to catch the arrow, put it under his wing, and fall down like he's dying. Oh, helicopter, flap with one wing, flap with one wing.
Right.
And then he goes,
Does he have enough mimicry to do like a death speech?
They do have mimicry, so yes, he can mimic. Plus, I can basically work through him if I choose as well to actually visualize through him and stuff and direct control. But
all the power.
Yeah.
I hear direct control. I just think Harbinger. Assuming direct control.
Yeah, because unlike the puppy dog, this is a familiar that's summoned into being. So
he works for his living.
So he's a little different.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, I don't know. I'm thinking nighttime would be a good time to wait for to do a little foray or something, but we'll have to kind of play it by ear to see when the quartermaster plans to come out. But
I don't trust anybody.
No, not at all, especially after what you overheard. So that's why we're keeping the mule kind of all set up. So, but we will be on close watch and alert from the walls and the gate for any mass movement or any treacherous looking behavior.
Okay. And just to let you know, the portcullises here, they do seem spread out to stop medium-sized creatures, not small-sized creatures. Something the goblins may note.
Right.
And after about,
what about these doors?
How big of those look like normal-sized doors. They're probably locked because of the snarling orcs on the walls above them.
Sure.
But it's basically a tiny wall, that connects to the bigger wall. So it seems like it's only going to be like a 6 to 8 foot room, depending on what it's like inside, if it's a step down or not. So how big of do you guys set camp? Do you put tents out? What do you guys do for setting camp?
A very basic sparse camp, but enough to look
like you're settling in for the night at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, you set out, your sleeping mats and all that good stuff. You unhitch the horse, right?
The mule? No.
It's a mule named Horse. Or is it a horse named Mule?
I don't know.
It's a mule named Horse.
We will feed him and groom him in place.
Okay. So after about 3 hours, obviously they're letting you wait. You hear the crank of the portcullis, and half orc comes out, kind of sneering, and he's got 2 goblins following him. One's got the classic stick with 2 buckets of water that he's spilling as he's trying to carry it because it's almost beyond his capacity to carry, and the other one's got a bag of grains, which could be for Horse, could be for you, could be both. And he comes out smiling, and he walks about half the distance and then starts yelling and cursing at these goblins to go give their kin this food and water from the commander. And he kind of like sneeringly folds his arms in front of his chest, and he watches you guys as these goblins that look all beaten and, abused. They've got pink scars on their green skin from wounds that have healed over and then been inflicted again upon them as they're struggling to come to you guys with this water and food. What do you guys do? And he's keenly looking at you guys for your reactions.
Yeah, I keep a calm demeanor and watch and just kind of nod at him.
What about the rest of you?
I pet Mule and just kind of watch.
We'll let them come all the way over, and then if you guys want to have them, I just kind of quietly, if you'll have them bringing the stuff around to the side by the horse and try to get some questions while you have them out of sight.
So, sounds like our hobgoblin's going to help distract as she pulls him aside to talk.
Yeah, she's going to bring him, I don't know where he's at, but have him kind of bring it around.
Basically right
not
here.
giving it, not give it to the mule or put it in the mule's area just yet, but off to the side over here so they can try to kind of have a very quick conversation, hopefully.
Okay.
Well, I kind of nod and kind of give a, greeting.
Okay, so Nazi, give me a stealth with advantage since your leader there's helping cover for you there. He's helping make it possible.
Oh no. Okay.
As you're being super sneaky in this conversation. Or attempting to.
No.
Wow.
You have advantage, so you got a 16.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he's kind of like looking at all of you guys, and obviously his eyes are stopping on your obviously commander, because he's the one that's talked to other people. So he kind of like his eyes linger right at Geldrin, and he kind of like he gives you the look down like he thinks he can take you in a second look. And he kind of like does that double take after a few seconds, and he misplaces the goblins. So as Nazi has the goblins off to the side, what do you do?
I'm drawing a blank. What am I supposed to do? Hold up.
Obviously, you were given the signal to ask them some questions, so I have time for you to ask them some questions. I have time for you to ask them 3 questions.
3 questions.
3 questions.
5,
sir?
5 is right out.
Okay, just so that Anea understands, am I asking about the base or am I like
that would be helpful.
help what am I supposed to no
That's up to you. What do you think
so
might be
you
useful?
pull them aside, what do you ask them? And I will totally take the genie approach and say, how are you doing is a question.
Oh.
I'm not that
3
nice.
literal questions.
Don't worry about that.
They have
They're
to
not
be
part of
pretty
my group.
concise, quick questions since you're talking while they're feeding, pouring the food out for you guys.
Oh, why did I do this? I'm bad at all of that.
Maybe that's why you were chosen. Total decoy. Nobody would think you would sit there to Q&A some captured goblins.
Okay, so there are slaves in a place, and we need to ask about the base. Anea just wants to know how do you...
I don't want to meta.
I will let you give her 1 question to get the ball rolling.
Okay. Help.
So,
One
fearless
might be
leader?
where
Fearless
the leader is.
Okay, cool. That's what I was asking.
Who and where, or where at least.
I was going to ask where's headquarters.
I'm hearing and that's multiple questions.
I know.
No,
I corrected as I said it.
Okay, so asking where the leader is of this place?
No, hold on. I was going to ask where headquarters was, which I think is a better question.
That's fine.
Okay. So where's their headquarters?
Yeah, like where do all of them, where the mean evil things here go to talk and
the one goblin looks up at you with sad, beaten eyes and droopy ears, and you can see the scuff marks of manacles have dug into this goblin's arms, and says, "The slave masters are very tricky. They're tricky humans," and he's like barely acknowledging that they've got orc blood because they're tricky humans.
Oh.
They do not live in the base that they are building, and he kind of gestures quickly over to here. As I need to click the right tool so I can bip here.
I was going to say, I
was like, wait, what?
This is an old temple, and they secretly hide. In here, there is tunnels that go underground where it is cooler.
Oh.
And he's basically pointing to the garden area, that there's secretly a entrance to go underground.
Oh. Okay.
And what's your next question?
No. Yeah, who's the leader? Where's the leader? No? Oh my god.
I think you just did where.
Yeah,
you did where, so.
Where is the most vulnerable part of the base?
And he looks at you, and because I think he might know the answer.
Oh.
He says the most vulnerable place would be over here, where the guards sleep. That's where most of these humans reside, and the part of the building that's been rebuilt.
Oh, okay.
And I totally should give you the outside of the building. They secretly have a well inside the building there that they keep guarded.
Okay. Do we want to rescue these guys?
Yes, you want to rescue us. Yes, rescue us. Oh wait, that wasn't your question?
Like if we're gonna Is it going to be another quarry situation that Nazi has no idea ever happened, but or
Well, yeah, that's our whole mission: to either burn them out or, demand that they quit trading goblins.
I mean,
Got
you have
it. Okay.
one more
I don't-
question.
These don't look like the kind of people who are gonna accept demands. Just
So,
Yeah, well.
where I kind of want to know where they're kept.
We are
The slaves.
we are kept in cages down below. In the garden, there's a secret entrance. And he basically gestures at what looks to be the structure if you ever see it, or if Tarkin can explain, you compare notes. It takes us down below to where they keep us in cells. They pile so many of us together. I have to sleep with a filthy dwarf. Do you know what it's like to have to sleep using the beard of a dwarf as a blanket?
Sure, it's very itchy. So,
Disgusting.
wait, the humans and the slave, not the tricksy humans, and the slaves are in the same spot?
And as soon as you say that, since that's your fourth question,
That makes no sense. Why would
that the guard there yells and says, "Goblins, drop off the food and water and get back here, or I will beat you." And they both, as soon as he shouts goblins, they immediately do the abused shirk and are putting the things down and starting to walk away from you. And they're like, "Please help us."
no promises, but okay.
As they go trotting back to him, and he's like, "The commander says he'll see you tonight after dinner. Bring your weapons and put them out in front of the rock over here." And he points over to this area. "Make the display pretty, and he may pay you extra coins for your goblins."
Gross.
And he sneers.
Hey,
I go and tell Fearless Leader what they told me.
yeah, I could just kind of smirk at him and nod.
And
After
it's
the
cute
guy leaves.
because this 2-foot goblin comes running up to you and jumping up and down to try to whisper in your ear. And he kind of takes a moment and he kicks both the goblins as they're walking because he's that kind of guy. As he's like, "What were you doing? You were taking too long." And the portcullis rises and the portcullis goes down, and then you hear some sounds of abused goblins being abused. If you weren't all selfish bastards, it would sound bad to your ears. Possibly our hobgoblins are thinking, only we can abuse goblins that way. It's our family rights.
Like I said, I'm not of the standard. They're allies, so
They're a resource not to waste.
I do dislike it, but I, can't tip the hand yet.
if there are a whole bunch of slaves, that could be,
Yeah,
make some chaos.
We tried the uprising before.
Fight for your freedom. Wow, they're all dying.
Yeah, most of them died. It wasn't good.
Your deaths will be avenged.
By somebody else.
You chose the wrong fight. So you guys take a moment to have our wizard take a knee so the goblin can whisper in his ear and give him the skinny.
Yeah.
That they have some kind of secret entrance over here in the gardens, you say.
Yeah.
And the slaves are kept underground, you say. And this building area is pretty vulnerable.
You say.
That could be said from a goblin's point of view who's already lit some shit on fire.
Fire.
Yeah, but
Fire.
guard shack is kind of It's not really our major concern. I think we want to get here, but so what kind of a roof is there over there?
Over where?
Over here.
Over here, it's obviously rebuilt. It's got some kind of wood tile kind of roof combination. Like they've taken slabs and put stone on top of it for most of it. As Tarkin flies over and sees that it's not really meant for walking on. You definitely get the perception that it's a roof. It keeps the rain and the wind and the sand out, but I wouldn't want to walk on it.
Okay.
Of course, that's also from the point of view of this goblin, who totally could just be obsessed with starting another fire.
Well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I was trying to see if I had anything that might help with that.
We
Are
just
there
set
any
as
fire
many
touch spells?
We need to just set as many pyromaniac goblins loose and tell them to set everything on fire.
Here is
That's actually
a
not
tinder.
a terrible plan.
Here's a tinder box. Make it burn.
Exactly.
And if they're not good fighters, they can cause havoc and chaos and all that stuff.
That's honestly, I think, the best idea ever in this situation.
Every
where you
goblin
cannot-
gets 2 torches and go light something on fire.
Yes.
Goblin
Well, the problem
sappers.
is getting that, so. Anybody got matches?
Oh, I mean,
Flint. You just give them flint.
Flint,
Tinder
Flint,
boxes.
Flint, tinder boxes.
Yeah. Does anybody have one? I do not.
I have a tinder box.
Of course you do.
I'm a
'Cause
druid,
there-
but I believe in fire.
Yeah. Because there would be the opportunity to potentially.
It
have
is part
Tarkin-
of the cycle of life.
I mean, our druid may just have some cool fire spells. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but-
That's something that makes you burn.
Yeah, but the idea is to have something start the fire, say, in here to start a distraction, leaving us free to go here
True
as
that.
everybody coordinates here. Now, with some
I've got a tinder box and some torches.
I do too.
yeah, well, One
Tarkin
thought I
can't
had-
carry that much.
could carry the tinder, the tinder box or the flint and steel from the box in, but yeah, not torches.
Okay, hold on. To fire? You went to fire. I have. Oh, I have something. Wait.
So
She's going through. What are the fire things I can cause?
I have control flames.
well, yeah.
That'd be like once it got started, you could like move it to places that were flammable.
Make it bigger, I think.
Hand Tarkin a candle very carefully.
So the description says you can choose a non-magical flame that I
Yeah.
can see. So yeah, it expands in one direction, provided that wood and other fuel is present in the new location.
Yeah. The problem
It just
is
needs
getting
plausible fuel.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do I have?
Yeah. So there's
I
like
have moonbeam. That's all I got for fire.
so there was like goblinoids and other things in all mixed in here clearing,
Yep.
and there's all kinds of flammable stuff in that area.
No, most of that stuff seems to be burnt out.
Oh.
Hair is flammable.
Wow. Remember
Just
that when
saying.
someone does burning hands on you.
So the
Hair
next
is flammable. You said he asked if anything is flammable in the area. Hair is flammable.
so
It
this
smells
is the
nasty too.
yeah, so this is like the best option for burning. of
Yeah, this
enough
would be
stuff
the
to
best
burn.
thing if you want something nice and fresh and flammable wood.
Problem is now there's no way to get fire up there without being potentially seen.
Poor Tarkin walking around with a candle. They're like, shoot the bird with the candle.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is, them seeing that. Well, but he could come from way over here, way out here and pop up from below. But trying to carry a lit candle is kind of tricky.
It would require a dex save and a stealth roll.
Yeah.
It would be great if he makes the stealth roll, but then fails the deck save and wafts the candle out as he gets there and goes, fuck!
Well, exactly.
Caca! Fuck!
I mean, I can obviously throw a firebolt up there, but then that they know we're attacking. I'm looking for
Yeah, something
obvious.
subtle. Totally understandable.
Though we could fly some flint to this little guy.
I was gonna say to which little guy?
This little guy.
Oh yeah, there's the guy tending the fruit bushes.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
he is clipping off branches and things.
Yeah. I mean, could basically send Tarkin there, drop off flint and steel, and tell him start fire.
Well, if he's cutting bushes, that means he's got a metal implement. If he knocks it against the flint, that should spark a fire. And if he's got branches there you go.
If you can persuade him through Tarkin to take that risk, like, hey, you've been ordered to take care of this garden. Why don't you set it on fire instead?
But you're a goblin and you've been horribly mistreated. Let's burn everything.
Yeah, goblins aren't typically gardeners. I don't think he's fully dedicated to what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, in the cover,
I don't think it would be a hard sell.
No.
Yeah, unless he's really terrified.
Well, there's always those possibilities, but like I said, I can control through him at that point.
It's like, stop. Yeah, I know. Stop ruining the wonderful fire plans.
Quit giving the GM ideas. No.
Like, the plan is to get all the goblins to set everything on fire.
Because you can.
I mean, well, we don't have to burn the walls down as long as we burn everything inside the walls.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to. The walls are made out of stone, but I was sure as hell like to try.
Right. Well, that's the big thing: is to start a fire to distract people, so that we can then try to sneak into here while they're busy fighting fires. So, I suppose we will go ahead and do that. We'll have Tarkin carry some flint and stuff, and he's our best target because there doesn't appear any major guards immediately there, and Tarkin can come around, from afar and come around this side and hop up on the wall and then hop down.
Okay, so he's trying to be real subtle about it.
Oh yeah.
And what have you provided him?
The flint and steel.
Okay, so he's got a tinderbox, basically.
Well, I don't think it'd be the whole box, but just the
you tie
parts.
up the good stuff.
Yeah, the base parts needed.
Okay, so give me a stealth check with advantage, because nobody thinks a bird's gonna be doing anything crazy.
No, and crows carry rocks and stuff in their beaks sometimes to build things. And so let me look. Does he have a stealth roll of his own? Perception language. Don't see a specific, so I guess that's mine.
Oh, if he doesn't have a specific, then it would be just his dex save.
Okay. All right. So look at that shit.
With advantage, natural 20s, he disappears down, and so how does he approach this goblin while stealthily coming down?
So he'll just kind of land on a bush near him and drop the flint, and then at that point I'll take direct control. I think with it I can, let's see, so yeah, take control and use his mimicry and stuff and be like, darkness, set fire to buildings.
As this goblin kind of like looks at you and does this, she seems kind of simple as a goblin, and she like puts down the old rusty shears next to the things she was tending on the berry bush, and she looks around and does that touch to her chest, like, "Are you talking to me, little bird?"
Fires. Set fires to building. Geldrin the wizard commands.
I command you.
As she kind of like looks around, it's like, is a great wizard commanding me to start fires?
Darkness. Set fires. Save goblins.
And give me a perception, strange bird, with advantage. She's having visions of being finally the chosen one of her own story.
Oh shit. We're busy talking here.
As she kind of, shush, she hears one of the guards come up and she shushes you, and you see her through Tarkin's eyes. She grabs the bundle and she kind of like buries it at the base of one of the bushes to hide it. And the guard comes back and she immediately gets back to what she was doing.
Tarkin bounces around the trees like no big deal and kind of bounces out.
What, he doesn't drop a, "Do what the wizard says, bitch"?
No.
You are the chosen one of this story.
We don't want it. So, I mean, it appears she understands.
It appears she understands, but she was frightened out of, going along right with it, but she has the materials.
Yeah. So he'll bounce around and away like just a random bird and kind of startled by the guard and flies out.
Okay, guard pays no heed to the bird, and he's just like, "All of you, time for food." And he basically gestures that they're to go for food as like another slave, big burly human, plops down a pot full of some kind of gruel that's of a gray pinkish color. Obviously, yesterday's dinner had new food put to it. Go for
Pink
the colored
slurry.
chunks. The colored chunks have flavor still. So she kind of like looks back at the
It's made out of people. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Pink
totally
slurry.
looks like the
It probably
Conan the
is.
Barbarian pot, Is that a foot being stirred in it?
Yeah.
This is what happens when the slaves are not good enough to be sold. They get recycled. It's okay. It's probably not your own species you're being fed.
Yeah.
So,
Not enough meat on a goblin.
do you guys set out the weapons displays?
Yeah. Set all that out.
I'm assuming our new great and observant blacksmithy fighter takes precedent on the putting the wares out in their best fashion.
Sure.
Obviously, it's a smith thing.
Yeah, the smith thing. So what would I roll?
Oh, no need to roll.
Okay, so I'm just going to put out what I'm going to put them out. So if they don't have any like fancy work on them, or they're going to be front and center.
Yep, label up.
Yeah.
Okay, so about the time you were promised, you see the guards have put torches out on the very top rungs that hang over the wall, so there's light beaming down. About every 20 feet, they've got a little sconce where they can light up the wall enough that they can easily see you guys in light without using dark vision, which you probably think they totally have. But they like to light this place up. They can afford to spend the oil. And about the appointed time...
How much oil do they have in there?
The portcullis, you hear it crank, 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 and a group of like 6 folks come out. As soon as they get to this side of the wall, you can clearly see it's a very nice, regal-looking half-orc that is way more human than orc. He's got the big lion cloak on with some, big clasps holding it on that gleam like they're gold. Or maybe just gold-plated. And he's got his 5 little followers that come out. All of them are politely armed because, that's what happens. Is polite society is an armed society. And he comes out there and basically gestures to one of the guys, and they bring, a lantern and pop the hooded lantern part open so light beams out. Poor mule named Horse whinnies at the light flashing past you guys. There's nothing worse than being dark vision and having somebody flash a light in your damn face.
Right.
And he just kind of like looks at the setup of the weapons, and he's just like, just nods politely. So who's the one that I should be bargaining with? And he kind of looks back at the last guy that came out, and that guy's carrying one of those small chests. Looks about the size of a loaf of bread. Obviously it's got some heft and weight to it, but he's kind of like looking around at you guys.
Weapon master.
Okay.
You've got to have better charisma than I do, I'm guessing.
I have very basic charisma.
Well, mine's like a -1 to any charismatics.
Oh, charisma. Charisma.
My charisma.
Mine is 10.
Mine.
Yeah, so it's at least a 0. So, but you're the fighter extraordinaire, so you would have better
Am I supposed
speaking
to be up here
abilities to
somewhere?
the weapons. Yeah.
Like, where's our display? Is it just over here?
Yeah,
You
it's
tell
supposed to
me.
be.
You set it up.
It was supposed to be like set up over this general area.
Yeah.
So I'll nod to our fighter extraordinaire to
Our man at arms.
take the lead in displaying and discussing the weapons.
And he kind of gestures back.
Did we mostly have crossbows, or did we have a few like scimitars too?
You have a few scimitars. You also have, I think it was like 8 axes, wood cutting axes, and a cart full of firewood. We're talking like 5 cords of wood back there, and lots of arrows. Arrows are expensive, especially when you're out in the boondocks.
No, those are my arrows. I need those.
Well, those are for the crossbows.
Oh, okay.
They're bolts.
Oh, they're bolts. Okay, I guess.
So, I guess I come to, gesture them to take a look at the wares and say, these. Yeah. See, I'm not very good at talking. So,
but see, if you botch it, it's you botching it, not your commander.
okay.
It's called delegation.
No, I mean me as Senin is not that great at talking. We have here a selection of weaponry. They've all been tested in combat. Do I mention that they were tested on me? No.
Only dropped once that we know of.
So he looks back, and then he gestures to one of the guys that you instantly recognize as the wagon master for the group you joined up with, and he's like, I told you, they got weapons. They got good weapons. So go ahead and give me your persuasion as you're talking up these weapons.
Oof. Persuasion is not that. Darn it! I've clicked the wrong thing. Bring up my persuasion. So my persuasion is going to be like just flat.
That's better than -1.
Trust in the dice. Okay, 13's pretty damn good. I mean, and he's just like picking up one weapon, then checking another weapon, and he's like, I do think it's time that some of the men have new weapons. These crossbows will be handy for the folks up on the walls. And he kind of like looks up to gesture to you guys. He looks you right in the eyes, and he looks up at the wall. There's a guard keenly watching you guys right now. And all the guy's got is a spear, which could probably be launched from the wall at this distance anyway. As he's just like, so, I see these weapons are used, and like you said, tested in battle. How much are they going to set me back in coin? Or do you want trade? We have some of the best slaves in a dozen leagues.
Yeah, that sounds too easy.
To the east, in the port city of Kormar, they relish the slaves that we harvest for them across the land. Humans, elves, dwarves, even your own goblin kin we see as profitable. Because, Hobgoblin, have you ever been with an elven woman? And he gives you this look like lecherous. If you're willing to pay, I can have one that is less spoiled than the others that we sell. And of course, totally you're getting the creeper vibes here.
Yeah. Creepy.
Are these light or heavy crossbows?
There are regular crossbow, heavy crossbows.
Heavies?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like now we're running into like my lack of experience with the actual game.
Yeah, well, I was trying to look, but it doesn't give the price in Roll20. So I'd have to look other. Trade or. I mean, we could try trading for goblins. Let me see. So I will ask.
If we were, I don't know if we want to like come back with a bunch of goblins, but now this fortress is far more well armed. That might not be considered a success.
Well, they're not armed until they get them dispersed and all that, so that might take a while.
And also fire.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Where are we on the fire situation?
You don't see or hear any shouts of any untold fire yet.
So actually, they're pretty good penny. They're 50 gold pieces a heavy crossbow.
But of course, that
I'm
is for
assuming,
brand new.
Yeah. No, I know, but and you know the other tools. So I'm like, what do you have in the way of goblins? I find them very useful.
Goblins are very useful creatures. They're small and tiny. You can get into small places and clear them out. I have at least 3 goblins that are experts in digging and cleaning latrines. And he seems very proud about this, by the way. How many goblins do you think you can afford? And he kind of looks in his head of how many weapons you're willing to sell. I will sell you for a better conditioned goblin. I will sell you a goblin for 50 gold pieces each. Or in trade, of course.
Right.
And of course, one of the guys is like, shouldn't it be more? And he just like glares and shut up. Now, if you'd like to try to do a persuasion on price negotiation to up it on your end, or possibly fail and up it on their end.
Do you want to risk it with my meager persuasion skills?
Sure.
Sure. All right, boss. So let me click this again. Oh, okay.
19. As he is basically willing to sell you 2 goblins for 50 gold equivalent of exchange. And he will give you full value for the crossbows, but only half value for the other weapons.
And how many crossbows did we have?
How many bandits were there?
I believe you have you're up to 12 crossbows because you've been collecting.
There were a lot of bandits.
And he only has 2 goblins to give?
No, he'll give you 2 goblins for each 50 gold in
Oh,
credit.
okay.
Basically, he's willing to give you full value for the crossbows and arrows and half
Right.
value for the scimitars and axes. And for every 50 gold that you give him worth of price, he will give you 2 goblins.
So how many goblins do you have that are available?
And he kind of like looks back at his compatriots and they giggle and laugh. He's like, "We have enough. Show me how much of your wares you're willing to part with, and I can then have the goblins brought up for your inspection with a few extra, just to make sure that they're up to your rigorous expectations."
Okay.
Hey.
So what do we have? Scimitars, crossbows,
And some
and what
axes, I
else?
think.
And axes. So keep the axes and the scimitars, and I think just like 10 crossbows. So yeah, we'll offer him 10 crossbows.
Okay, so how much in gold is that, since you had it up like that? Or did you not?
So that would be 50 times 10. So that's what? It's late math. What is that? 500?
500? So basically you're wanting 20 goblins from him.
Yeah.
As he kind of like nods and he talks to 2 of the guys and they come trotting this way. And he says, "So you want 20 goblins? That may clean me out. The other guy kind of comes and whispers in his ear and says, "How about this? I have some of my men bring out some food. Now that we've done business, we can eat. And my man will tell me if I have exactly that many goblins. 20 goblins make maybe more than I have. What alternatives can I offer you? Is there anything in particular you'd like besides goblins?"
Well, those dirty humans and dwarves. The stench is just beyond. And the dwarves, I mean, we won't even talk about those. They're so unruly to manage on the road.
And he just totally agrees. Dwarves are the worst. I mean, I had a dwarf cook once, and he gave everyone food poisoning, but none of the dwarves had any ill effects. You can't trust a dwarf.
Wow.
I
Their
think he
guts
dipped his
are.
beard into the stew.
Yes, things just breed there. And they have guts of, I don't know, steel or something. I don't think anything bothers their gut.
However, they do make a good stew, if you know what I mean. It gives you this winky face of horrible atrociousness where you're like, I don't want to know anymore. I don't know what you're saying, and I don't want to know what you're saying, if you know what I'm saying.
Though, I could use some muscle. You don't happen to have any bugbears, do you?
No, unfortunately, they are too sneaky to capture and too dangerous to keep around.
Yeah.
I do have an ogre, if you're interested, but they are much bigger than a goblin, and that would cost you at least 4 goblins worth.
Yeah. Well, I'll take what goblins you have, and we'll see what we can work from there.
Okay, so he basically, has his men bring out food. You guys have a good meal. They seem to be pretty decent folks. The guards are definitely watching y'all like a hawk. Is there anything special anyone does while some good roasted boar gets brought out with some sides? blankets are thrown on the ground to eat. Family style on the ground.
So
Tarkin's keeping an eye kind of high up, watching for anything on the walls that looks odd.
So are these guys eating too?
They are definitely eating. He clearly looks around, and they bring a lot of, like, if you've ever had Ethiopian, it's a lot of Ethiopian style food as well as the boar's meat. And he looks at you all and clearly takes a sip out of one of the cups and hands it over to you. And then you see him lean down and like randomly grab food onto a plate, and he starts eating in front of you first. And you clearly see his men take his cue and start doing the same.
Okay. Yeah, basically wait until they partake and then follow suit on partaking from the items they've partaking from. And avoiding anything that they might have avoided or overlooked.
Okay, so you guys are doing the meal, and like halfway through the meal, they come out with 16 goblins of various age and conditions. Pretty much all of them are pretty bad shape. It's not like they're going to pick up arms and go to war anytime soon. They're definitely going to need some, break.
Yep. Okay. They're all healthy enough to walk or whatnot.
They
do
might
some basic.
make the trip if somebody wants to do a medicine to check out any that might be too fragile to make it.
Well,
Medicine, huh?
I'll look over at our druid and be like, please, or I basically tell her, check them out.
Yeah.
Make sure they can make the trip.
Okay. Doing
Totally,
it. Let's
totally
do it.
sensible thing.
Let's do it.
Have a goblin check the health of a goblin.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look them all over, and out of the 16, it looks like only 2 would fail to make the trip. They look like after the first day's trip back to your warren, they would probably drop dead from exhaustion if somebody doesn't do like something serious to correct their condition. Like
they'll be in the cart.
A druid with Goodberry, or they sat in the cart, or someone healed them magically.
Ooh, who would do that? I don't know. That'd be me. What's up? Do you want me to do that now?
Not now. No.
Okay.
No.
She starts busting out
We're
with the magic.
not dropping hands on anything that we are. We will work that later.
Okay, cool.
So she points out the couple that are kind of weak. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. Those 2 on the end there, I don't know if they're worth the full price.
But I'm already cutting in a really good deal as we speak. And he continues to eat while, he's kind of dismissive that negotiations already been done, but he kind of understands they may be sickly.
I mean, it'll take a lot of work to get them capable and hopefully make the trip.
Well,
but
we
they're
can't
not going to
keep
be
our slaves
productive
in
along the way.
too good of a condition. I mean, if they're in too good of a condition, they may do something crazy, if you know what I mean.
I understand. Yes, they're not as cooperative for other types, but they understand the relationship within the hierarchy.
So, is there anything I can do to compensate you for the condition of the 2 and the additional 4 goblins that I would owe you? Would you like to give us some time to get more goblins? And I would gladly replace. I would give you 5 goblins on your next trip here. If you give us at least 3 moons, I should be able. Yeah, 3 moons. Yes, I should. And he looks up at the big, beautiful moon out there. I should be able to get at least 5 more goblins. You never know when you may stumble upon a warren and have to harvest them. How many need to be stepped on to get them to cooperate?
No, totally understand. We could work that, and I'm sure that your master is a fair an honorable sort that we could work on credit as far as going ahead and getting you what you need, and we'll next path through finish off the deal.
I definitely think this is a good bargain. That in exchange for these, you get this group of goblins, and you know what? I will even throw in some free rope for binding them. And of course, he gestures, and the guy starts tying knots on the goblins. Would you like me to have them fed and watered extra just to make sure they survive the trip?
Well, yeah, make sure they can get a good start. Yeah, we want them to kind of been warm and harsh out there.
I can definitely have that. And he basically snaps his fingers, and the guy that brought the goblins out kind of goes up to the portcullis here instead of where they came, because they came out of this opening. But he's taking them back into the portcullis. And he's basically, make sure they have some good food, something that sticks to their ribs, because you can see their ribs, and that's not good. I have to make sure that my good friends here are given good merchandise, so they want to come back for more, especially with these beautiful crossbows.
We may have more to trade at that time.
And he kind of, gives you the look of, so the next time you're around, will you be the one coming, or will you have a proxy that needs documentation?
Oh, no. I do my own business.
Excellent. So you won't need a bill of sale or anything silly thing like that?
I'm sure that your master is honorable and will keep to this trade. I'm assuming you have that authority.
Oh, well, you speak to the master of the house, my friend. I mean, I am the one that you will deal with here because I run the day-to-day operations.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he kind of chuckles with his men. He's like, I have an arrangement with a few of our cousins and some of the surrounding areas that work with us. That all trade must go through me to make sure that I get my fair share of making sure my cousins are kept safe while they do their business.
Okay. And I will do an insight while we're talking, if I can.
Okay, go for it. Oh! As it sounds like everything is true and great.
Yeah.
That the food you're tasting is so distracting because it's so bold and seasoned well. And something about this fermented wine with some kind of spice that's in it that just, gets your attention. As you're just
I don't like this person. Can I do an insight check or something?
Why don't you like him?
I don't, because it's the way he's talking and, about the goblins and raiding a warren, and I don't like him.
Well, that's okay, because he doesn't like you either. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Okay. I am inclined to already dislike
And then
him.
she rolls a 1, and we have fights in the camp.
No, I rolled a 6, but at least it wasn't a critical failure.
Yeah, at least nobody's throwing down on the goblin and putting it in chains.
No.
As your anger is kind of glowering over the inside of you, just see him as a turd. He's just flat out a turd.
Rude.
As you definitely are not his biggest fan in life. And you now realize that this is going to be a great place to burn down.
Yep. So the goblins that were brought out, was the gardener one of them?
The gardener was one of them. Basically, he did bring out all of his goblins.
Okay.
Tarkin totally recognized each goblin as, I saw that one. I saw that one.
I guess fire plan didn't happen. Oh.
That's okay though. We're good. We're good. So, okay, we'll conclude our feast and our meal, and I'll shake his hand in
business
and trade.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've concluded the business. They've picked up the crossbows. He trusts you because you are a regularly trustful guy, and you trust him as an honorable orc because you've
Yes,
heard of that
indeed.
orc honor. And
Yeah, yeah.
he's like, 3 moons, I'll have 5 more goblins for you.
Okay.
And you guys have a nice meal. He's got some servants, some servant folks come out to clean up the place. Give you guys some fresh water for the night. Give you some, fresh linens if anyone wants a basic like linen tunic. You can have a linen tunic that a goblin will swim in. As basically, he thanks you for the business, and at first light, he will have the goblins brought out for you, freshly cleaned, so they don't smell up your wagon, and given extra helpings of food tonight and tomorrow morning before the trip.
Okay.
Is there any other business I can help you with?
No, I think that'll do it on this time. I think we have a potentially mutual arrangement. I think we can both benefit greatly over the upcoming season.
As he's just like, see? And he kind of roughly handles the guy who brought you guys in. He says, You're right. And you'll get your 10% cut. And the guy just like smiles, this big toothy grin where you can see it's all jacked up teeth because it's human and orc mouth. As he's like, he just looks at you and he gives you the nod, the nod of profit for everybody. And then the guy kind of like casually looks over his shoulder and says, and which direction did you come from?
I'll give him something like 90 from our camp.
Give me a deception roll.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, we wander the roads, so we don't get hunkered down too much. Let's see.
As he gives you the long glance.
Yeah.
And is there any human or dwarf outposts that you saw along the way?
Well, there was a small group, but they're kind of indisposed at the moment and disarmed as I kind of nod over at the weapons.
And he, of course, gives you the big laugh and elbows. Disposed and disarmed.
So,
as he kind of reads right into what you're describing there.
Yeah, and you know what? I will use my 20.
Ooh. And replace that roll there.
Yep.
Okay, and he totally will buy into that deception of which direction you guys came from. As he was totally trying to see if he could schmooze up some more business, the next place to raid.
Mm-hmm. I knew exactly where he was going. I'm quite smart, just not good on the people side, but...
So this take 20, is that something like that I'm missing?
No, that's...
He's a divination wizard, so it's one of his wizard abilities.
I used
cool.
I rolled a 20 and a 4 that I can use and place wherever I choose.
So he can swap it out for himself or another player's roll or a bad guy's roll. So like since he rolled a 20 and a 4, he could curse someone with a divination of a crap roll or give someone an amazing roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a super cool thing for divination wizards. And if it's a halfling wizard, it's even worse.
Oh yeah. No.
If it's a lucky halfling wizard.
If in Mark's campaign, because we were fucking with him, I had a divination halfling wizard with luck plus the regular halfling luck plus the advanced halfling luck where you could give it to party members. So yeah, basically there was no way of rolling a 1. It's like, oh, you rolled a 1? No. He uses my halfling luck to re-roll that 1.
It just
Sorry.
means that y'all are lucky.
Yeah. And then I had my 2 dice to give out too. So yeah, I was screwing with all kinds of rolls. He was not liking it. Sadly, that character got killed pretty quick.
So lucky, but so unlucky in life. Okay, so as they basically break their meal, and your slaves are being tended to, and basically harshly scrubbed down, very harshly scrubbed down. It's funny how you can wash their clothes and their bodies at the same time. They go into their camp. You notice the guards get swapped out on the walls, and you guys can basically camp down for the night. Do you?
Not without guard, no.
So who is the guard?
I'll take first watch.
Okay, who's taking second watch? Thankfully, it's late in the night, so there's only 2 watches needed. Unless you want someone to power through the night all their own.
No. Who's the next perception person?
Me. I will.
Okay,
Maybe it
so
might be me or
both
Talia.
of you watches, give me perception checks. Or do you trust your passive perception?
I'm going to do a perception check.
Can Tarkin, because he's not really a real being, assist?
Why is Talia doing a perception check? She's not.
I don't know. I don't think I was supposed to.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna keep my.
I heard my
passive
name.
'cause
I'm
it's
sorry.
15.
I'm passing out, and I just ran. So ignore my perception check.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You
All
heard
good.
passive and you
I heard
rolled.
you.
Oh yeah, we're coming up on midnight.
It is
Yeah.
time to wrap up. That's why I was going for a cool
Okay.
ending. So,
right.
Senan, on your watch, you notice the guards kind of like are keeping a really close eye on you guys. And one of the guards, is keeping a really keen eye on you particularly. He's sizing you up. You're definitely getting that idea. Do you say anything to that guy?
Y'all throw some gang signs.
What's up? I take it to the hob.
I wonder if I can just like kind of like, do I need to say anything?
You don't have to. You can just
Can
ignore
I just?
his ass.
Oh no, just like no. Do I need to? Can I respond like non-verbally?
Like an intimidation?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
kind of like lift my chin and give him a like, what's it? Yeah,
Like, fuck
you want? Look,
There's
like, yeah,
as I
like,
call the Geralt response.
you want? Yeah, kind of.
Like-
Yes.
Yeah, like the bring it on look. Kind of like.
Yeah. So would I roll an intimidation there?
Yep, if that's what you're going for.
Yep. I'm not trying to start. Well, okay. I'm not trying to start a fight, but I'm trying to discourage one.
So you're trying to
let's
get
see
him to
what
back
happens.
down with the intimidation, not throw down.
Yeah.
Right.
As
That's
the
the
spear
intent.
launches into the
Like
air.
you don't want to cause any trouble here. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
So you give him the I ain't scared of you, and he kind of like backs down and stops mad dogging you.
All right.
And what about our little druid? And that's like
I
the
have
only
a
altercation
passive-
sending that you have happened that night.
I
then you
have
tap
a
the
passive
druid
of 15.
Passive of 15.
Yeah.
So with your passive 15, you do notice that not at the wall, but off in the distance back the direction you guys came to get to this building, there seems to be some folks scampering out of the community after, like about an hour after you get to your watch, a good few hours before dawn. There's scampering of people leaving the area. Obviously, they must have been hiding in hovels, the houses you passed and things. There's a group of about 6 that go sneakily leaving town.
Can I tell how tall they are?
You cannot. It's too far away for you to make out more than it's people sneakily heading out. You hear the whisper of people that the wind catches. It's outside of your dark vision, so you don't really see, but you get the idea that people are out there rustling around and heading kind of the direction you came from, but not like beeline the straight distance. It's just they're heading south,
They're leaving the area.
They're leaving the area on foot.
On foot. Okay. kind of feel like I should wake up Fearless Leader for that one.
Do you?
Ooh.
I mean, that's totally up to you.
I mean, are there other villages and stuff? Is that what you were saying out there?
Well, you guys hadn't passed any other villages, but when you came into the walls of this city, there were other buildings that you passed. Most of them half buried with sand, so someone could have been inside them, but you didn't see any proof of, habitation.
So, like, maybe this keep had like a town around it or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's part of
or in front of it, yeah.
And something wiped out pretty much all the smaller structures.
I'm gonna wake up Fearless Leader and tell him about it, because that's a little too suspicious.
Are you doing it in a way that won't get the guards' attention?
Yeah.
Okay, because the guards, by the way, seem to not be reacting to that whatsoever.
They don't, like.
So roll me a.
Do they see? Oh wait, do I notice that they see them?
They seem to pay no heed to what you noticed. So either they didn't see it at all, or it's something
they
they're
saw it,
used
they don't
to.
care.
Yeah. I think I should probably wake him up and tell him about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a stealth roll for how quietly you do that.
Okay.
Hey, leader!
Okay, I'm gonna make it obvious I'm not doing that ever.
If your stealth roll sticks, sure.
Well, whenever I do, I want to whisper.
Well, this just depends on.
We're fine.
Okay, stealth of 21. You crawl into his sleeping bag like a cat. You jump in the bottom and you work your way up as a lump, and then you just curl up next to on his shoulder and just whisper in his ear, "This isn't a dream." And then what do you say in such a stealthy way where you put your hand over his mouth and say, "Don't make a sound"?
That would have been the failure of the stealth roll. Like, he wakes up. Ah! What are you doing?
I think we killed Anea.
Okay. Whew. Hand over his mouth. And all that stuff. I saw some people. They were leaving, like, away from here, and the guards don't seem to give a crap. I don't know. It's kind of weird. What should we do?
Well, right now, just keep an eye. We'll take a route around where you think they're going in the morning.
Okay.
That would totally be like a survival thing to see if the tracks go that direction.
Mm-hmm. And then I just roll out of the sleeping bag, what? Or I just cuddle in. I don't know what's happening.
Just unnecessarily roll around the campsite.
Yeah.
Ninja roll. Okay, so the last of her watch goes off without any problems. The sun comes up in the east. The light kind of wakes all of you guys up. You are fully rested. You've had your nice rest. And that's a good place to wrap it up there then.
All right.
As you start to hear the portcullis and the moans of your freshly cleaned and fed slaves coming out with two half-orc guards prodding them out with the blunt ends of their spears.
Oh, no.
So 16 goblins. All right.
16 goblins and the promise of 5 more in 3 moons.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, but...
Let's see what... I'm still not entirely sure what your plan is, but I'm ready to hit
Fearless
stuff when you
leader.
are.
Fearless leader.
Yeah. So as we get up in the morning, before they bring people out, we kind of have a little quiet huddle together and, kind of tell them what kind of looking to do. And at this point, we'll go out a ways, avoiding the direction to the buildings that they took, and we'll tend to the goblins that we can. That's why I kept a couple of the crossbows and the other weapons, and we'll potentially come back on a different night.
Okay, so you guys are heading
So
out with the goblins then?
We've got another uprising plan.
Yep.
Oh, yes. This one will work, hopefully.
Except this one will heal them up before they have to try to fight.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because all I know about that is what like I've heard about like in this session. So I'm assuming it went very bad and they all died.
They were much weaker than we thought. So yeah.
Yeah. A couple, I think, didn't
So it's
one
like-
run away successfely.
No, I think 2 got out. 2, and they
Like,
weren't
all-
goblins.
like-
they were
like-
like
All right,
were humans, I
new plan. Same plan, but better.
Same
This time we'll
plan, only
nurture-
more effective.
yeah. This time we'll nurture them before we do,
Mhm,
and we'll have people that know their way around this place to help us.
mhm.
So that's my thought.
Okay.
All right.
But we will head out, but we will not head out the direction directly the way we came and the way she saw people going. We will head off at kind of an oblique to the town.
Okay, and as you guys are heading off in your wig waggle cross direction, in case they're watching to make sure they don't go in the right direction, that is a good place to wrap it up there.
All right.
Yay. Okay.
Yay!
All right,
Ooh.
have a good night, guys. Make sure you
Good
get some
night.
Have everybody,
Good night.
good night.
And it
Bye-bye.
only
Roll.
took me 2 liters of Diet Dr. Pepper, but I stayed awake the whole time.
I think I fell asleep at one point.
I might have as well. But we did it! Yay!
So you
Well, we're
have
not-
a
the mission's
caravan
not
of
done,
goblins.
but yeah.
Oh, well, not yay. Okay, bye.
Good night.
All right,
Bye-bye.
good night, guys.
Good night.
All right.
That was cool.
No major combat, but we'll get there.
No major
No,
combat,
doesn't
but nobody
doesn't have
died,
to always have combat.
Yeah.
and such
so-
effective talking going on too.
Yeah, well, I had to keep that 20 in my back pocket for the right moment.
I was waiting for you to curse somebody with that 4.
Well, yeah, that opportunity didn't come up yet, but yeah, so that's my goal. We'll take them out. We'll get what we can out of them that can fight, and we'll have a bunch of little sneaky bastards to come back in to help assault the place that know how to get around.
For the horde.
Right?
Oh.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, we gave them some weapons, but now we also have an army that needs to be nurtured. But
Yeah.
So,
I look forward to see where this goes.
yeah. Good
You can-
laid plans.
It can only go
beyond-
amazingly.
Yeah, we'll be on plan B, C, or D by the time, it gets going, but that's okay.
Well, I hope our divination wizard has like a list of contingencies.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
All right, just tell me when he needs something hit, boss.
Oh, yeah.
That's
right
totally
there
the
with you.
time when it's like, is it hit time? It's hit time.
All right. Okay. All right.
All right.
This is
Guys,
good.
have a good
Glad,
night.
glad to
Have
have
a
you
good night,
back.
guys.
Yep, thank you. Good to meet you. We'll have a good time.
All the good
Night.
stuff. Good night.
All right. Night, guys.